Money's the motivation, money's the conversation. You on vacation.
All right, guys. So we are starting a new segment this week.
As you guys know, we like to rank things. You know, it's kind of one of our hobbies, I would say,
It's one
with
of our
sports.
things.
So we're going to introduce a new topic this week called "Who's at the Top." Woo! All right, KB. All right. Well, I guess you're asking me first.
I am asking you. So we're gonna do a little college basketball teams right now.
Okay.
So right now, who are your top 5 college basketball teams? Start with number 5.
Yeah.
And then go to 1.
I'll tell you who's at the top last.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And I have to say I did take these notes before Saturday's games.
Oh, a lot of big teams lost on Saturday.
But I will say I don't think it will affect my top 5.
Okay.
Well, except for my fifth team, which I put was Wichita State. I told you this before, and then we talked about how they lost to Houston yesterday. I think it was like 73-59.
Yeah, they got killed.
Yeah. And the thing is, even before that, so they have 4 losses now.
Mm-hmm.
And before that game, they had their 3 losses to number 13 Notre Dame, Oklahoma, and SMU, Southern Methodist. I just like the team, especially and this is the note I had down for them, which is why I put them in my top 5. The team shows consistency in a very inconsistent field of college basketball.
Yeah.
That's why I put them in that 5. So I know, we can talk Michigan State, we can talk, a couple other teams, Miami, there's even North Carolina.
I'm not big on North Carolina.
Yeah. I'm not as big on them this year as in past years for sure. And they do have a rival, my number 4, in Duke. I mean, this team, if you want, on paper, they're amazing.
Yes.
They lead the nation in points per game at 92.7 points. Over 50 as a team, over 51% from the field and 38% from 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's really good, especially in college. As a team, I mean, Coach K is their constant every single year. But, the thing that stood out to me was this team is also first in rebounds per game. I mean, to me, that means, they're controlling the glass. They're controlling the pace of the game. And then they're also 3rd in assists per game. Mm-hmm. They're moving the ball around. That, to me, is winning basketball. Yeah. I mean, granted, they do have Marvin Bagley, freak of nature.
You'll see him in the NBA next year having 15 to 17 points a game.
I'm sure. Literally a freak. That's how I describe him. Like, it's unbelievable. And then Grayson Allen's playing at a very high level this year, too. I expected him to, kind of tail off this year after, all the controversy around him last year. But I didn't expect him to have a bad year. But I think he's playing very well right now. All 5 of their starters are averaging double digits in points per game, which is key. They have their key, their resume is really good, too. They wins against Michigan State, who was number 2 at the time. Mm-hmm. Florida, who was number 7. Florida State, who was 24, and Miami, who was 25th, but they had a bad loss before that game. So, and then they have losses, but their losses to Boston College and NC State, to me at least, keep them from a higher spot. Yeah. I'm very, especially, I don't know why with college sports, I'm very picky. I feel like I expect more out of them.
Yeah.
I agree. 3rd, I had UVA. I like this UVA team. I think, especially on the defensive side of the ball, they're very underrated. And their only loss came to another team on this list, my team, West Virginia. They beat North Carolina, and they play Clemson and Duke this upcoming week, which are going to be huge games. But I just want to shout out your guy, Kyle Guy, Ty Jerome, who has played well this season, and a guy from around here. He went to Broad Run, and he played at Rutgers, I remember, and he played at K-State. He started his career at K-State. Nigel Johnson. He's been a 6-man for him, but he's come off the bench, provided a spark. He's playing. He's getting still 13 points a game, but his impact is most on the defensive side of the ball. Now, number 2, speaking of defenses, I could not put my West Virginia Mountaineers at number 1. I had to keep them at 2. And that is because of those just 2 losses in a row.
Bad loss.
Yeah, 2.
Not bad.
The second one, Well, the thing is, we should have won both. I can get into
Bad losses in the fact that you could have easily won both those games.
Yeah, I think. All right, Kansas started to pick up some steam right now.
Mhm.
I understand that, but at that point, I still believe we're a better team than Kansas all around.
I think Kansas is picking up steam because of that win.
Yeah, and as a West Virginia fan, that's what we don't want. Don't let Kansas get on a roll. But those two Big 12 teams, those keep me out. They keep them out of the first spot, even though I believe they could match up with any team. But West Virginia performing like always. Javon Carter is leading the nation in steals. Javon's a dog. Issa Amon's having a really good year, and then Dax is playing very well, especially as of late. Who is someone I was counting on earlier in the season, who wasn't showing up as much. Now he's starting to have his consistency back. Even Lamont West is playing extremely at a high level right now. Kanate, they're all performing.
Kanate went off.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I have to give it to Villanova.
Yes,
They still only have one loss, and it was to Butler, who always.
Butler's not bad.
Butler's not bad, and always gives Villanova trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And they beat Gonzaga. They beat Xavier. They don't play the greatest teams all year, but when you watch them play, they just. I never question what Villanova's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I'm watching them, I know I feel like they rarely play from behind. They execute.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it always comes down to.
Yeah.
But that's my top 5. I got Villanova at the top.
Like it.
Who you got, KB?
Like it. So we have some similar teams, actually just 2. But
okay.
So number 5, I have Duke. Duke is by far the most talented team in the country.
Yeah.
The problem is defense,
and
I'm very big. If you want to be successful in college basketball, there are 3 things: you need to play defense.
Yes.
You need to have some experience in some of your players, and then you need to have good guard play. So, but I will say Duke has been improving on defense, which is it's a very good sign. But there's not many teams in the country that can hang with those bigs.
Yeah.
So that's why I still have to put them in my top 5 just because of how talented they are. Number 4, got Xavier.
Okay.
Xavier is, people remember them last year as that 11 seed that made that run to the Elite 8, then losing to Gonzaga.
Yeah.
It's the same team. The same team as last year. They had basically the same players. They lost one pretty key guy. It was Sumner, but
I'm thinking of Purdue.
Yeah. You're thinking Purdue's not on this list. Purdue's a little overrated right now. I'll say that. But Trayvon Blewett is averaging 19 points a game. He's one of the best players in the country right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And this is a team that they can score with just about any single other team in the country. Their problem, like Duke, is on defense. Sometimes, they're not the greatest defensive team.
Yeah.
But I know it's there, and I know they have that experience. They have good guard play. Yeah. And come tournament time, they proved it last year that they can make a run. So.
Well, especially young guys. Young guys don't like to play defense that much. It's just a fact.
Yeah. Number 3, Arizona. Arizona, they had
3.
Number 3. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
It was early in the year. They started off 3-0. Then they went to a little basketball tournament. You know how they do those basketball tournaments beginning of the year. I want to say it was the Bahamas tournament.
Okay.
They lost 3 straight games.
Yeah.
And everyone put them off the map. And I was like, don't do that. I said, don't put this team off the map.
You were rooting for Arizona.
Because this was the team that people forgot would have been, if Marvin Bagley didn't reclass, would have been the number 1 ranked team in the preseason.
Yeah.
But then Bagley came, they put Duke there, and they moved Arizona to 2. Okay. There's a reason why they're still the number 2 preseason ranked team, because they have so much talent. Yeah. They have one of the best big men in the country, DeAndre Ayton. You will see him in the NBA, and he's going to be a dominant force in the NBA. Alonzo Trier, averaging 20 points a game, one of the best players in the country again. They play pretty good defense, and once again, they can score with just about anyone. they're getting their groove back, man. And
Yeah.
honestly, if you're any team, I think teams don't really care if they're just kind of like waiting, like people just kind of like sleep on them a little bit.
Yeah,
Like
and that's Arizona every year.
Yeah.
I feel like almost because they're one of the only teams that are on a year-to-year basis compete for the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will give them that. They are very soft and another executing team. Their numbers aren't always eye-popping.
No.
But they're always ranked high for a reason.
But number 2, my boys, Michigan State. You'll see why in the tournament.
Michigan State is a very good
One of
team.
the best offensive teams
Yes.
and one of the best defensive
Exactly.
teams. You'll see in the tournament. But number 1, I agree with you. Villanova, just the way they've been playing right now. Jalen Brunson is slowly going to be, or surprisingly going to be, the National Player of the Year because he's averaging 19 points a game and shooting 58% of the field. You don't hear that from a guard.
Yeah.
That's a guard. That's not a
Those are
big
center
man.
numbers.
Yeah, that's not a big man getting dunks. That's a guard.
Yeah.
So that's why Villanova's number 1. I love Jay Wright. I think he's a great coach. So that's who's at the top.
All right, guys. To end the show today, we're going to stay here on who's at the top, but we're going to switch it over to the top 10 current NBA players.
I put segue in the script. You should have read that. Shout out Colin.
All right, we'll segue. Fine, we'll segue.
Segue.
So we'll segue into the top 10 current NBA players. But I mean, we all whenever we do this, we always gotta give love to the guys who didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
So KB, let's start off with your honorable mentions.
All right, honorable mentions. Porzingis, he's in there just because the fact that without him, the New York Knicks would be the worst team in the NBA. Embiid, realistically, the only reason why Embiid isn't in my top 10 is because he's still not even playing back-to-back games, so injury is still a big concern with him. Devin Booker, I mean, he's playing fantastic this year.
Lights out ball.
If he was not in Phoenix, he'd be getting so much more love and respect. Cat, got to put him in there. The only reason why Cat's not in there for me is that he has improved on defense, but that's still his biggest weakness.
It's his biggest weakness. He has improved a lot, though.
He definitely has. So hopefully that's a good sign to where he can keep improving every year for defense. And last, my man, Dame Dollar.
Dame Dollar.
All right, number 10. I'm going to do it. I know
Yes, you are, because you know the truth.
we had a big fight about this literally minutes before we started. Kyrie, to me, his numbers are good. They're not eye-popping, but, I am a stats guy, but you're an eye test guy.
Yeah.
Realistically, it's probably 50-50.
Yeah, I mean, that's never...
No.
Yeah,
Right. But the only reason why I had to put Kyrie in there was because the Celtics have one of the best records in the NBA.
Yes.
And he is the leader of that team.
Yeah.
He's improved greatly on defense. And, you can talk more about Kyrie when you get there. So, 9, DeMar DeRozan.
Okay.
25 points a game, 4 rebounds a game, 5 assists a game. He had a 52-point game earlier this year. I mean, contract year.
I think that was the first day of the year because he started.
I think it was.
He started the year off.
Yeah, I think it
52
was.
points.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So, my man, contract year. He's trying to get his money, and he's going to get it.
He's going to get it for sure.
Number 8, Anthony Davis.
Okay.
26 points a game, 4th in the NBA. 10.6 rebounds a game, 8th in the NBA. I mean, back-to-back 45, 10-plus rebound games. You don't know many people that can do that. So, I mean, just the impact that he has on the Pelicans and on that team is ridiculous.
As a vocal leader, too. I mean, people want to give Boogie smack. Anthony Davis. You said Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
Anthony Davis smack. But he's the leader of that team.
Yeah, he is.
No matter what.
He is. The brow.
Yeah.
7 is his running mate, Boogie.
Okay.
25.2 points a game. That's 7th in the NBA. 12.6 rebounds a game. 3rd in the NBA. Surprisingly, he's averaging 5 assists a game, too.
Mm-hmm.
So he can pass a little bit. But, like Anthony Davis, just a physical force down low.
Yes.
I mean, there's a reason why both these guys are in the All-Star game as starters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those two together, I mean, if they make the playoffs, I mean, I'm still so concerned with how the Pelicans do not have a better record than what they do.
Inconsistency.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if this team makes it to the playoffs,
and that's the thing, the inconsistency, and they do need more help.
they do. They definitely do. But this is not a team I want to play.
I mean, yeah, definitely not.
I don't want to see these two in the playoffs.
Just to deal with them in a series, you do
7
not
games.
want to.
Even if you do get out of it, you're going to get beat
Yeah,
up.
exactly.
So,
especially playing early, I don't want to play.
Yeah. 6, my man Giannis.
Okay.
I did have him a little higher, but then I kind of realistically had to put him down a little bit. I mean, he's having a great year, still improving every year, still very young.
Yes. He's
still got some more room to grow, and the Bucks aren't really having the best season right now.
Yeah.
But they'll get it together, and I think Eric Bledsoe, he'll start to learn his role on the team.
Yeah.
Knowing that he's not the number 1 anymore.
No.
He has to be the number 2.
Yeah, for sure. I think he realizes
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
5, I have Steph. Steph would be higher. He would be a lot higher for me, but again, the injury factor. He's missed
fair.
16 games.
Yeah,
that's 16. A lot of games to miss.
That's fair.
So, but I mean, we've seen when he's there, MVP caliber player.
We don't need to say anything.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. 4, Russ.
Yeah.
I predicted at the beginning of the year, me and my man Sidney Monteyoung over there, we said he was going to average a triple-double again, but everyone was saying, no.
I will give you that.
I said the only thing that was going to change is his points would go down from 32 from last year to 25. 25 a game, 9.7 rebounds a game, 10.1 assists a game. I mean, you have to put him in there when he's averaging a triple-double again.
And realistically, he shouldn't be, but that's just word to Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
There's not a more passionate player in the game.
No.
There's no question. This guy puts it out on the line every single night.
Game.
So, yeah.
3, James Harden.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you said it earlier. Right now, if the season ended, he's my MVP too.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a big win last night against Golden State.
He played bucket too.
Yes, that 3, ice in the veins.
Yeah.
Number 2, your man KD. I know you have him at number 1. We already had multiple debates about this, but I mean, KD, he's the next closest thing to LeBron. To be realistic,
passing's getting a lot better in Golden State. I have noticed that.
I mean, yes,
it has to.
When you play with the greatest shooter of all time and still one of the greatest shooters in the league right now, you should be getting over.
No, I'm saying
the
looks he's getting. I mean, that's just because of the way Golden State. I mean, we can talk because Golden State does everything so freaking perfectly.
Yes.
But
who's at the top for me? Braun. And those teams struggling. That's just a cry out for help, because when they get that help in DeAndre Jordan, he's going to turn it on. He's going to be even better. I mean, he's having career numbers right now.
Yeah.
27 points a game, 8 rebounds a game, 9 assists a game. That's who's at the top for me. But I will say, if Kawhi Leonard was not here, he would definitely be in here. So,
once we get back up to the top, there's one side I do have to give you.
Okay.
Honorable mention for me, I couldn't put Cat in my top 10 either, just because of that. Not anything towards against Cat. There's just so much great talent in the league these days.
There is.
People are just getting bigger, faster, stronger. It's crazy.
I mean, he's still, 21?
In 5 years, he's top 5, top 3 to me.
Yes.
In 5 years.
Yes.
He's going to grow in so many ways. It's ridiculous. Another guy who doesn't get a lot of love, but, I mean, people respect him. That is true, but I just feel like he doesn't get love. Jimmy Butler, his running mate. He's had numbers of clutch shots this season to save the Wolves, which is a lot of the reason why they have the record they do now. I will admit that. But I don't see a weakness to his game. Realistically, he can make most of the shots on the court. Good from 3, deadly from mid-range, good at the line, or really good at the line, great at the line. Finish around the basket, draws fouls, great defensive player. I don't see a weakness in his game.
I don't either. He's a great player.
Yeah. I also have Porzingis. Like we were saying, without Porzingis, that New York team's the worst in the league.
Yeah.
I just feel like New York, for the past couple of years, has been in disarray with all this Phil Jackson, Porzingis melodrama. doesn't seem to end.
He's the future of their franchise. Though.
He is.
He's a good guy to build around.
He is the staple. For sure. Dame Dollar, Damian Lillard, still the most underrated player in the league. It's incredible.
He really is.
Yeah, and then having a great season right now. I just couldn't crack him in my top 10 players because as a player, I'm looking at the whole package, and just his one weakness is his defense, and that's what deterred me from putting in 10 is DeMar DeRozan. Having a great year offensively for sure, and he's not okay. Don't get me wrong, he's not a slouch on D, but top 10,
52. That's all I gotta say.
My number 10 was also Kyrie Irving. Okay. I could go on days about Kyrie, but
I know at least.
Yeah. All I'm gonna say is, if I had to put the ball in one player's hands, and I knew I had to go get one bucket. I mean, you could argue for a bunch of players, but there aren't many guys I could put on his level, and which is why I have him down at 10. But it's like we talk about when you watch this guy play, it seems like there's nothing he can't do on the court, which is definitely good enough for me to put in my top 10. If you don't really have, there's no weakness in your offensive game. The only thing you really can't do is post up with that, like your
point guard.
Yeah, exactly. Number 9, I have DeMarcus Cousins. Boogie has had a great year. He's, I think he's second in the league in rebounds right now. Third. But it's just the thing, and you were speaking to it earlier. Him and Anthony Davis together. I don't know who's going to beat those. The Warriors would still beat them. I believe the Rockets would still beat them, but it's just you don't want to play them type thing. And then at number 8, I have very controversial Draymond Green. I understand, I'm not the biggest Draymond fan. I don't agree with everything he ever does. I understand why he does them, but he's improved as a player the past couple years too. After already being a very, very good player years before, I feel like his defense gets better every year, which is something people don't talk about. They just know him because he has good defense.
Yes.
But his 3 has gotten more consistent, which is, that's their game. Get an open shot. He's good at getting open, and he's a big boy too.
He's the backbone of that team.
All right, so now at number 7, I got Cousins' running mate, Anthony Davis. I know you had Cousins higher than AD, and I mean you could really change them. They're honestly I know they don't look alike, but I feel like if you take their games, they're mirror images of each other. They're big men who can handle the ball, shoot, post up, pass. Yeah, physical, protects the rim, plays really good defense.
I will say this, and when Boogie was traded, I kind of liked that trade. I really did, and I know a lot of people were kind of skeptical of it, but I liked it in the fact that this was a veteran center guy that plays the same position as Davis, and Davis can really learn from him.
Yeah,
not with his attitude and everything, but just his game.
Yeah, I mean Boogie's calmed it down a little bit from previous years.
I think a lot of people would act that way if they were stuck in Sacramento.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. So but now that he has AD, it's kind of like bringing back the old school ball. You got 2 dominant forces down low, but they can do everything at the same time. So, I got Russell Westbrook at number 6.
Ooh, wow!
I'd love to put him higher, and he took. It's like every time I feel like I grade someone low or grade someone too high, I feel like people act like I'm disrespecting that player or whatever. But I just think that it's more complimentary to the other teams or the other players or whatever the case may be. But Russell Westbrook, at the end of the day, is still a great player and one of the most unbelievable talents we've ever seen. Passionate, we went about all this. He's the most watchable guy in the NBA, in my opinion.
Yes, if you want to watch one guy to play, it's Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook, for sure. And because of his explosiveness, what he can do with the ball, how he gets his teammates involved.
Shooting.
Exactly. It's just excitement, straight energy.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't put him above my guy at number 5, your guy, Giannis, because of what he means to that team.
Yeah. And
that's kind of the argument you made for Kyrie and why I'd have him so low, but you still kind of had to put him in there because of what he means to his team. Mm-hmm. Without Giannis, the Bucks are not a team in contention It's not even a question.
No.
You know what I mean? He can't be stopped. Offensively, defensively, once he gets his shot down, I mean, it's gotten. I wouldn't even say it's gotten more consistent. I think that's the thing. It hasn't gotten better. It's just gotten more consistent throughout the season.
Yeah. He's understanding how to play.
Yeah.
He understands his own game.
Exactly. He's still so young too, which is a thing. And being at 5, that's scary.
I think he's only like 23.
So 20, he is 23. Yeah, that's nuts.
Yes.
I think he has the highest ceiling. Him and Cat
by far have the highest ceiling.
Out of any players in the league, to be honest. But he didn't top number 4. This guy is still my MVP, right? Just because he's not the best player doesn't mean he's not my MVP. And it's James Harden. I mean, and the knock on Harden was, he doesn't make big shots. We've talked about this. The shot last night against the Warriors was a pretty big shot. Yeah,
that was game glitcher right there.
Exactly. I mean, I know it's a regular season game, but it's still a statement game against the team who everyone says is the biggest threat to the Warriors in the finals, or in the West. But even that, I have my guy number 3. He's Steph Curry. I mean, as a player,
respect it.
As a player, and it's just at these points, especially my top 3, we're admiring greatness. But that's the thing. Like, I feel like Steph is like before our very eyes. He's doing something we've never seen before, and then once it's gone, I don't know. Like, I don't think we'll ever see it done in a way like Steph Curry did it before, because no one did it that easy.
No,
you know what I mean?
I mean, he pulls up from 30 feet, and it's nothing for him. It's a layup for us.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's the same argument I make with Kyrie. If the point of the game is to get points and to get buckets, who am I taking over Steph Curry and Kyrie and the top 2 guys with James and the other 2 guys on this list? And number 2 is LeBron James. I mean, I've given my reasons before. This is not me hating on LeBron. I'm not hating on him. He's the best player I've watched in my lifetime.
Keeping it in.
There's no better player I've watched. But at this specific point in his career, and there's no doubt that the fact that the situation his team is in is factored into this. Of course I have to factor that in, because especially when you're considered, at least we consider him the greatest of all time, I have to factor it because I grade you at such a high standard. It's, you know what I mean? It's kind of like he kind of put it on himself in a way. Like, it sounds weird, but just because of how good he is. And he's not the same. I know statistically he's having a great season, but again, we go back to the eye test, and we know he was more dominant in Miami than he was when he returned to Cleveland.
That was his prime.
It was exactly, so, and now we're seeing the prime of my number 1 guy, and it is scary once everyone starts to believe it. Kevin Durant, cupcake column, if you will, the Slim Reaper. The Slim Reaper is reaping anyone that stands in his way.
He doesn't deserve that nickname anymore. I'm sorry. Giannis deserves that nickname now.
He's the Long Reaper. I know they're both long, but Giannis, that length is different. I mean, KD's was already different. That's different.
Yeah, Giannis.
But when we talk about Kevin Durant, I see the Miami LeBron in a way, but one that shoots threes. He can shoot from anywhere. That's literally what I see. But people don't want to accept it. But if you watch KD play, he plays defense just like that LeBron did. But he's longer. He's more disciplined than he used to play. His footwork's better. His passing's better. Everything's getting better with this guy.
Let me just say this. Let's have LeBron and KD switch spots here. Let's put LeBron on the Warriors right now and Kevin Durant on the Cavaliers.
Okay.
Let's be realistic. LeBron would be his scoring would go down. I'll admit that, but I think he'll put that on himself, saying that, let Steph, let me bring up the ball. Let Steph go to the corner and run around. Let Clay go to the corner and run around.
Yeah.
if LeBron was on the Warriors, he could be averaging 15 assists a game.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, but I feel like I could not say that about a lot of players, but like, it's just something I can say because we use that Golden State. I feel like it's almost impossible to use Golden State as an example for anything because it's unlike anything we've ever seen. So every player, I honestly believe, will be a better player just because they go to Golden State.
I mean, you could say that. I believe that any player that goes and plays with LeBron James is going to be a better player.
Fact. But the thing is, I think I can say that about Kevin Durant now.
I'm a little too tired right now to argue about this end of the show. So,
but guys, all right. KB has LeBron at the top. I still have Kevin Durant at the top. That's going to end this week's show.
If you want to see a real argument about that, go to our KD versus LeBron debate topic.
That's the full debate.
That was 20 minutes, could have been like 20 hours, to be completely honest.
Hey, good content, though. But thank you guys for watching. See you next week. Enjoy these games. Have a good weekend, guys.
Go Jags.
Yeah.